What's going on, world? It's me, Andre Cat9 here from West Palm Beach, Florida. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys exactly how to use a tool on TradingView called the Session Volume Profile, short for SVP. And I use this tool to draw out my key levels. There's 3 key levels that I like to use from this tool. And these levels are powerful. You can catch some really, really good moves off of these key levels. And I'm going to demonstrate to you guys right now what these 3 key levels is. And also what I'm going to do is I'm going to also go on the live chart on the charts to show you guys some examples on how you could have used these 3 key levels that I'm about to show you guys. So normally when I use the session volume profile, right, I mark out these 3 key levels. There's the volume area high, there's a point of control, and then there's volume area low. Those are the 3 levels that I use, that I mark out on my charts. And after I mark out those key levels, I take the session volume profile tool off my charts because I don't want it all over my charts. So I just want to mark the key level. That's all I want to do. I want to mark these key levels and take that session volume profile off my charts. Okay. So again, there's 3 levels. Okay. There's the volume area high, and then this right here is the point of control, POC, and then down right here is the volume area low. Okay, those are the 3 levels that I like to use. Okay, so what I do is I mark those key levels off, right, and then I take the volume profile, the session volume profile off my charts. That way I don't have my charts cluttered with this volume profile on my charts. That's what I do. And what I like to do is I like to take trades off of these key levels, and I also like to trade to these key levels. Okay. Sometimes I like to take trades off of them. I would like to see if I can get a rejection off of it, see if I can get take the trades towards it. It all depends. All right. But like I said, this is just extra confluence when it comes to my trading strategy. And it just gives me key levels that I can also use in the markets. Okay. So let's go ahead and go to a live. I'm going to give you some couple of examples and show you guys exactly how I use these levels. And that way you can kind of get a better understanding how powerful these key levels are. All right, so to find this tool called Session Volume Profile, all you got to do is just click the indicator box right here and type in Session Volume Profile. Okay, as you can see right here, I have it highlighted right here. It's called the Session Volume Profile. That's the one that you want to put on your chart to get those 3 levels that I mentioned not too long ago. All right, so normally I do this on the 30-minute chart. I like to mark out these key levels like the volume area high, the point of control, which is POC, and the volume area low on the 30-minute chart. Okay, so what I would do, right? I would get your horizontal tool and mark these levels off. Okay, so I like to do the very, very important. Forgot to mention this. You want to do the previous day's value area high, previous day POC, the previous day value area low. You want to mark the previous day's point of control and the value area high and value area low. You want to mark out those key levels from the previous day. Okay, so if I'm going to be trading here, right, I want to mark out these key levels on the previous day. So let's pretend that this is the previous day. Let me get this. Okay, the previous day was here. Okay, so what I like to do is I like to get my horizontal tool and then label it and just call it, the POC, and then take the value area high and mark out those levels here. Let me see. Yeah, this is going to be the value area high there, and then the value area low, right? I'm just going to put right there. Okay, this is the previous day. Let's just pretend that I'm going to be trading in this section here. Okay, and after I mark those key levels off, I'm taking this off my charts. Okay, I'm completely taking it off because I don't need this on my chart. I don't really need it. So I don't want to clutter my chart. So what I'm going to go ahead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take this off my chart so I can have a clear chart. And as you can see here, right? I took the session volume profile off my chart. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the 5 minute. I usually like to take trades either on the 5 minute, right, the 1 minute, or sometimes the 15 seconds. Okay. But the 15 seconds, I normally just, I trade the 15 seconds using an indicator. But in this case, we're going to be looking at the 5 minute. Okay. So now, as you can see, all right, I got 3 lines on my chart right here. I got the volume area high, which is in green here. And then I got my point of control. This is where the most business has been done in the previous session. And then I got my value, yeah, it's right here. Value area low right here. Okay, you see that? Those are the 3 key levels that I have on my chart. And I'm going to show you guys some examples on how you could have used this. Okay, so now, let's say that the US session is started. What I like to do normally, I like to wait for a session sweep, but sometimes you can catch some really good moves. Sometimes it doesn't happen all the time, okay, when it comes to the like having a session sweep. But like if I were trading the London session, this would be my simple strategy. Wait for a session sweep, meaning wait for London session to sweep the previous session, which is the Asian session. And then what I would do is I will look for a bullish engulfing. I mean, not a bullish engulfing, but a bullish fair value gap, right? Once I have my bullish fair value gap, then once price closes below, then I like to take the trade, to the downside as a reversal, okay? But when it comes to the U.S. session, price didn't sweep the London session, so there was no session sweep or session liquidity here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to basically use these 3 key levels to take trades off of. So same thing how I would do when it comes to waiting for a session sweep. I'm going to look for a bullish engulfing. Okay, as you can see, this right here is a bullish engulfing right here. Once I have that bullish engulfing, and once I see price closes below here, right, the best thing for you to do is just wait for a pullback into that inversion fair value gap, because once price closes below this bullish fair value gap, it's going to turn into an inversion fair value gap. So once price breaks it, it turns into an inversion fair value gap. And then what I like to do sometimes is I like to wait for price to come back, pull back into that inversion fair value gap to take the trades off. And in this case, as you can see, price did this, all right? Came down here and spiked all the way back up into this inversion fair value gap, right? And not only that it pulled back into the inversion fair value gap, but it also pulled into the previous day's value area high. Look how perfect this is, right? These are the key levels that you can take trades off of. You can catch some really, really good moves off of these levels, okay? And we got some confluence going on right here. We have a inversion fair value gap, and we have a previous day's value area high that we got off of the session volume profile. So this is a perfect trade that we could have took a trade off to the downside. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys another example. Let me clear this off the chart, but like you could have caught a really good move based on this based off of this value area high key level here. You could have took the trade, let me let's put my stop like right above there, and then literally you could have caught the trade to the downside. You could have caught this whole move, okay? Caught this whole move if you hold it that long. But this is how simple it is to catch some really, really good moves in the markets. If you have some key levels in place and basic market structure, and you have a strategy in place, you can utilize these value area low, POC, value area high key levels from the session volume profile. All right, so I'm back on the 30-minute. Like I said, I usually mark up these key levels on the 30-minute chart. So let's say that we're going to be trading here. So if we're going to be trading in the London session or the next day's US session, we want to get the previous day's value area high, value area low, point of control. Okay. So what I'm going to do, again, I'm going to find the previous day's POC, point of control, and I'm going to find the previous day's value area high, and the previous day's value area high is right here. And then I'm going to do the same for the value area low. I'm going to mark that level there. Now I have my value area high, my previous day's value area high, my previous day's point of control, and then my previous day value area low. Now I'm back on the 5-minute. Remember, after you mark those key levels off, take it off your chart. Take the session volume profile tool off your chart. That way you don't clutter your chart. Okay. So now going into London session and the US session, we could have used these key levels to trade towards to, because remember, you can take trades off of these key levels and you can take trades towards these key levels. Okay. Now, when it comes to my strategy, this is perfect. All right, we had the London session, right? This is the London session right here. We have the London session, and then we have the previous session, which is the Asian session. Okay, I'm going to make that yellow. So when it comes to my simple strategy, I like to wait for price or the current session, right, to sweep above or below the previous session. In this case, London session swept above the Asian session, which was the previous session. Now, once that happened, right, what I like to do is I like to, mark out my bullish fair value gap. But in this case, right, I marked out my breaker blocks. All right. Now, I don't know if you guys know about breaker blocks, but I also use this. Now, as you can see here, okay, I probably did this on the 1 minute. Let me see. No, I did this on the 5 minutes. So when I don't see a clear bullish fair value gap, I'm gonna look for a breaker block. Okay, the breaker block is just this. It's whatever if I'm gonna be looking for sales, I'm gonna be looking for the lowest red candles between the higher high here and the higher low here. So whatever is between here, okay, between these two lines here, I don't know if you guys can actually see that. Yeah, I don't even know if you guys can see it. But right here, right between these two vertical lines here, I'm going to be looking for, normally I go for the lowest red candle, but in this case, I added both of these candles here. If you just box that out or zone that out, right, you can also use this as a key level and wait for price to break below that zone or that box, and you can literally take a trade. All right, just like how I use the fair value gaps or the inversion fair value gaps, you can use the breaker blocks the same way. Just wait for price to close below it or above it, depending on what direction you're going in. Okay, so I got my breaker block box right here. All right, now, so I got the session sweep. London session swept above the previous session, which was the Asian session. I got my breaker block here, and all I'm waiting for now is waiting for price to close below it. Okay, so in this case, what I did was I waited for price to pull back into it, and then I got in right here at this level right here. Okay, you could have took the trade here if you wanted to. Sometimes I take the trade, as soon as price closed below it, but just to be safe, I think the better route is to wait for price to pull back into that breaker block. Okay, because you can use these breaker blocks as support and resistance. All right, and also you can use these breaker blocks to take trades off of. Okay, so where our key levels are from the session volume profile. We got the volume area high down here. Okay. We have the point of control, the previous day's point of control down here, and we have the volume area low down here. So since we're not taking trades off of these key levels, then Now, in this situation, we're going to be looking to take trades towards these levels because these key levels are like magnets. Like price loves to come back into these levels. Okay, so in this case, we're trading towards these key levels. Okay, so in London session, you could have took a trade in London session, right? Or you could have also took a trade in the U.S. session. Okay, so as you can see right here, in this scenario, I was targeting the value area. As you can see right here, I was targeting the value area low here. Okay, this green line right here is the value area high. Okay, so that's what I was targeting. And as you can see, price it didn't touch that area in the London session, but it did hit it in the U.S. session. Okay, so it just pulled back as you can see, price came down here, came close to it, pulled back and touched it. Okay, now I could have holded the trade as well if I wanted to in the U.S. session, if I wanted to, and caught this whole move down here. All right, and target the value area low. As you can see, price loves to come to these levels. All right, price loves to come into these levels. So use these key levels to take trades off of. Use these key levels to take trades towards. Okay. Let me see if I can show you guys one more example here. We could have also, like, let's say that we didn't take a trade in London session. Let's see if we could have took a trade in the U.S. session here. Again, when the U.S. this box right here is the U.S. session. So what we could have did was, like I always do, I like to look for reversals. So I want to draw out my bullish fair value gap. This is the bullish fair value gap right here. Okay, my bullish fair value gap. And I'm going to do the same. I'm going to wait for price to close below it. So once price closes below that bullish fair value gap, which turned into a inversion fair value gap, I'm going to take a trade here or wait for the pullback into this inversion fair value gap and put my stop right there. And literally, if you wanted to scalp the market, if it got in up there, you could have scalped the market towards the value area low. But that's where I probably would have got out at, because you never know, price can, reverse from this level. So you might as well just take your short profit, scalp the market here, get your win and get out of the market, because price could have went all the way back up. So you could have took your profit, scalped the market, and took your profits right at that value area low here. Okay, but it went below it, Or what you could have did was what you could have did. I mean, as you can see, if you'd have moved your stop loss into break even, you would have got stopped out. As you can see, so sometimes you could just, depending on how far, like if price was down here, you could have moved your stop loss to break even. But when it's like short like this, normally you're gonna get stopped out if you move your stop loss into break even. So, but yeah, you could have made some money here off of the trading towards the value area low here in the U.S. session. But the better move was in London session, because we got the session sweep. London swept the previous session, which was the Asian session. We had a breaker block right here. We waited for price to close below it, and then once price pulled back into this breaker block, we took a trade to the downside towards these three key levels. All right, you could have got out of the trade here if you wanted to just get out, take your profits. You could have took your profits right here at the value area high, or you could have took your profits right at the point of control, or you could have took your profit here at that value area low. Okay, real simple. But this is how I use these key levels, and it's very, very powerful. All right, so if you incorporate these key levels into your strategy, you can catch some really, really good moves in the markets. But with that being said, guys, I'm Andre Ketna here from West Palm Beach, Florida. I will see you guys on another video. Take care, y'all.